Hello, everyone. I'm Buddy Blanton with Pegasus Firearms LLC out of Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. And we also have our sister company up in Virginia as well as Florida. We teach a series of classes on CWPs, concealed weapons permits, as well as intermediate and advanced courses. We teach Krav Maga, a few other things. If you go to our website, PegasusFirearmsLLC.com, you will see a list of all of our classes that we offer. But we're going to talk today briefly about one class in particular that we're going to be teaching in Virginia. And I'm going to give you a little bit of background about myself. I am a retired police officer from the state of Virginia, lived in Virginia up until a year ago, and have had my own company in Virginia for many years. We are as all of my instructors are, I have experience in using my firearm to protect my own safety. All of our instructors have been under fire at one time or another, either in the military, police, or both. And that is what we attempt to do, is bring experience to you. Now I'm going to turn it over to my sidekick just for a second so he can introduce himself.
Hi, I'm Jerry Cox. I also retired from law enforcement. I was with Virginia State Police. I'm also an active shooter instructor, also nonviolent crisis intervention instructor. Buddy also left out on his part that he also managed, he was the head security for 5 hospitals in the Richmond area when he was coming up. So I know he's modest at times, but I just thought I'd put that in. I am an armorer in 1911s, 6 Hour, and M16 and AR-15.
Yeah, Jerry brings a lot of experience to the table, especially his undercover work that he did when he was with the Virginia State Police, buying narcotics, things of that nature. And he is one of our concealment experts when we talk to people about concealing firearms and being able to draw it from concealment. We do our classes like that. Jerry's insights are very helpful. We have in our family at Pegasus, we have a variety of different instructors and people that we bring into the class to assist us and so forth. But one of the things we provide is experience. When we come in, you hear some of our war stories, and some of them are even true. And that was a little funny. I hope you laughed. And then we also provide to you some of the explanations of certain incidents that you see on TV. When we deal with active shooter situations and terrorism in our courses, we actually talk to you about the things that the media will not tell you. And we will tell you what is going on within that community as best we can tell right now. But one of the things we want to talk about today is what is occurring in the state of Virginia, our home state. Yesterday, Mark Herring, I believe is his name, is the AG, the Attorney General for your state. Virginians, what he did was he wiped out 25 reciprocity agreements with 25 states. That included North Carolina, Kentucky, South Carolina, Tennessee, all the border states but one, West Virginia. I don't know how he missed that one, but I'm sure he had a reason why he kept that one in play. That takes you down to roughly, 6 to 8 states that you have a reciprocity agreement with, and none of which are close. So it's going to be hard for you to be able to carry your concealed firearm when you're driving across country to go through certain states, realizing that no longer do you have an agreement. And if you get stopped in the state of North Carolina and you say, hey, I've got a concealed carry in the state of Virginia, then you can be arrested for having a concealed firearm. Why? There is not a reciprocity agreement after February 1st with 25 states. Now, when we lived in Virginia, a lot of people like to go to OBX, out there to Outer Banks. Well, guess what? That could change for those of you who practice your Second Amendment rights. You want to go to Disney and you're taking your family and you realize that the streets are not always that safe, or the highways. Guess what?
No longer covered.
No longer covered. My friends, when a law enforcement officer stops you and you say, I've got a concealed carry, and I hand that concealed carry to that law enforcement officer, it tells that law enforcement officer a couple of things. Number one, This citizen has taken the time to take a safety course. This citizen has gone through a background check in purchasing not only his firearm, but he has had his fingerprints run through the FBI. He has gone through a background check with the state police. And odds are he's a law-abiding citizen. That's what it tells us. In our 30 years of law enforcement security experience, and we talked about this with our buddies back in Virginia as well as here, none of us can ever remember ever arresting someone for homicide or for shooting someone or stabbing someone that had a concealed carry from another state. Most criminals are homegrown. They never leave their areas. They stay right there. You had a series of homicides just this past weekend in Richmond, Virginia. I would bet $1,000 right now that person did not have a concealed carry from South Carolina. And that's what he removed. And by the way, we teach classes on CWP in multiple states. South Carolina is far more stringent. You sit here in South Carolina to get a South Carolina permit. It's a safety course. You have to go through the laws pertaining to use of force, citizen's arrest. You have to go through the laws of when and where you can carry your firearm. You have a shooting component, which you do not have in the state of Virginia. These things, and then you get your fingerprints taken by a law enforcement agency and your background run. Your AG said yesterday, made it sound like 25 states are just walking down the streets of Droneville and handing out criminals CWPs. This is not the case. This is an attempt to take your firearms from you and to restrict you and to restrict others from traveling through the state of Virginia.
And don't be mistaken, this is just the start. We have where Josh Horwitz with the Coalition to Stop Gun Violence, he said this was a start. So that tells me they're not finished.
Not finished at all. But we have an answer for you. The one state that they did not take away was the state of Utah, a great gun state in which we happen to teach the non-resident CWP. If you are traveling to Virginia and you live in another state, this is an option for you. Take your Utah CWP. It's recognized by the state of Virginia. But if you're a Virginia resident, who we are pointing to right now in this video, this is a great opportunity for you to get your...
regain the states that you lost.
That's exactly right. Your border states. You will get back North Carolina. South Carolina is not a border state, but it's still on the way to Disneyland. Florida. You get Tennessee, Kentucky. You get all the states that you have lost at border. And why we say that, of course, we teach this course in the state of Virginia. We will be, throughout January, we will be running specials. You will see us on Google running ads. You will hear us on WRVA. We plan doing some of advertisement on the radio to reach out to Virginians to say a couple of things. Number one, we don't want you to lose your right to carry your firearms safely across that border. We want you to remain safe. We want you to practice your Second Amendment rights. Because every time something like this happens, guess what? Your life becomes a little bit less safe. You would much rather have a gun in your hand to protect your life than a cop on the phone at any time. And remember what we always say. When seconds count, police are only minutes away. And if you're on a highway driving through the great state of North Carolina, South Carolina on your way to Disney, let me share something with you. It's going to be even longer.
Yeah, you can be in a rural area, which I patrolled rural areas in Virginia. And it's not out of the ordinary to have a response time of 30 minutes. And that's not because we're eating at Dunkin' Donuts. That's because of the travel distance.
Absolutely. And another thing, your AG and your governor, they're surrounded by men with what? And women with guns. With guns. You can bet one thing, that governor's living in the city of Richmond. He doesn't have anything to worry about. He's got dogs, guns, men, and alarms protecting him. What do you have in your neighborhood? By the way, home invasions are on the rise in this country. And yet, we're constantly being told that it's our problem, that it's our fault as the victims. One of the things that we're going to be addressing with Jerry's going to do a weekly thing on what we call Cox's Corner, and we're going to discuss the people making excuses for, like, the lady who ran over 30 people in Vegas because she was frustrated. I tell you what's frustration. Frustration is having a 5,000-pound car on my tail because some idiot has decided she wants to kill 30 or 40 people. My friends, your life is in danger. Our job at Pegasus is to save your life. We will teach you how to use your firearm. We will bring our experience to the table. We will train you to do it safely. And we will also take a lot of time with you to get you used to a firearm through our search system. But remember one thing. If somebody's coming through your door, it's late. It's too late to get that concealed carry at that point. Protect yourself. Jerry?
Please. Like I said, please exercise and protect your Second Amendment rights.
Absolutely. We will be in Richmond, Chesapeake, Virginia Beach, all through the month of January, teaching classes, and they will be very reasonably priced. Go to our website, Pegasus Firearms LLC, or you can call us in Virginia at 804-768-0294 and talk to myself or Jerry. We'll be more than happy to talk with you, set you up for classes, whatever it may take. If you have questions, just shoot us a line right there on our website.
Yeah. As I said, this is just the beginning, so we want you to be safe, and especially in the times that we have now, the developing times. More than ever, you need to protect yourself. You need more rights, not less.
Remember what happened to the Harvey family in the Richmond area. It was a shame. But the thing about it is, they needed something to protect themselves from thugs that were coming in. And we won't even take the time to say animals, because animals do not treat each other that way.
You cannot rely on the mercy of people like that.
Not a bit.
You have to protect yourself and your family.
There is no mercy when it comes to an active shooter, when it comes to terrorism, and when it comes to a lot of home invasions. Do you really want to sit there and beg for your life? The point is, that is not the best place to be, especially when you're standing there with your wife or your husband or your children. Ladies, we offer classes just designed just for you to take those times. But we're right now talking to you about Utah non-resident. And it's time to grab those border states. He can't stop you, because the thing about it is, even if Virginia breaks their reciprocity agreement with Utah, guess what? Utah is not going to break their reciprocity agreement with North Carolina, Kentucky, Tennessee, South Carolina, or any of the other states. So therefore, you will be able to get your concealed carry through there. I mentioned South Carolina. I'm sorry, they don't have a reciprocity agreement with South Carolina. But the other states, you can gain back and drive through the South without any issues.
Peace of mind.
Absolutely.
Insurance.
Remember, it's Pegasus Firearms LLC.com, 804-768-0294. I'm Buddy Blanton. This is Jerry Cox, wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and we hope to see you in one of our classes. Thank you.